medicine or bus or something else. Hello. Hang on one second. Okay. Hello, I'm in Calgary now, if you're wondering why the set looks different. I didn't want my last video to kind of stand on its own, rejection video, because then people might think like, oh, that's it, he's done. But I'm not done yet. I really enjoy getting beaten up by the medical school application system, so I'm ready to reapply. So that's what this video is going to be. It's kind of like part 2 to my last video. So I'm sharing this because I hope that it's going to be valuable to those who are also pursuing this journey, kind of a way to give my journey meaning by sharing it. So this is what this video is going to cover. It's going to cover what happened before. So basically my other times I've covered or applied for medical school and what I did wrong. Also choosing Calgary as my step forward as I'm moving back fully. That's why I'm here. Also my reapplication strategy, like how I'm going to be approaching it differently this time. And I'm also going to be talking about how I'm pacing the year, because I think it's really important that we pace ourselves and we don't just go all in one thing. And finally, I'm going to talk about what I'll do if I don't get in. It's a pretty exciting backup plan, and honestly, lately I've been feeling more excited about it than applying for medical school. That said, I still want both, so here I am, applying again. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, we're going to talk about what happened last time. In 2021, I wrote the MCAT and I did well in the MCAT. I had also graduated the year before for my undergrad. And it was the first time I wrote my applications. I felt like when I was writing it, it felt really grueling and tiring. I don't think I knew why I was writing it. I don't think I fully understood myself enough yet to write the applications. And so lo and behold, I got no interviews. I don't think I was ready yet. I was 3 points off from getting an interview from U of C though. So regardless, there's some hope there. But then I also found my Master's in Biomedical Communications, which I've often considered to be equal to medical school. It's also hard to get into, and it's combining all of my favorite passions: art, science, medicine, and visualizing them to communicate to an audience, and that's stuff that I really like. So I worked hard on that, and I applied. I felt ready for that application, so I produced one of the best applications I've ever had for that school, and I got in. And then I moved to Toronto in 2022 fall. That said, I didn't want to lose momentum for medical school, so I sent out a very lazy and rehashed application to University of Alberta. It was basically the same application from 2021, except with minor differences, such as like I'm doing a master's now. And lo and behold, I got rejected in February 2023. And around that time, I also hit a personal crisis. I hit this personal crisis, and the program directors at BMC advised me that I should focus the next year on just BMC and not apply to medicine. And it was the right move, because ultimately then in 2024, I graduated with a decent portfolio, and I even got a job right out of my master's, which is rare for people in our field. And so it proved to be the right choice. That said, because I think I lost some momentum, I had delayed writing my application in 2024. And I ended up taking only a week to write the application. That said, the one thing that I realized during that week was that I finally was able to answer the question, why medicine? I finally felt like I had reflected enough to be able to write a pretty decent application. And lo and behold, it was one of the best applications I've ever written. And yeah, I got an interview. But I think that I was underprepared for the interview. I think that going into the interviews, I didn't want to disappoint myself, so I was mentally just thinking like I'm not getting in anyway. So when I received an interview, I don't think I had the momentum to that I needed starting at the interviews like that everybody else has. And so I think that I underprepared. While I did prepare, the thing is that I always forget, or at least I forgot now, is that everybody's preparing. You can't just prepare for medical school stuff. You need to over-prepare. And so that's the thing I'm going to do next time. The other thing I learned about is that MMI needs structure, and I think that I approached it more loosely. I think that I was relying more on personality or charisma, but the MMI needs clarity, structure, and it also needs like research done. Like you need to show that you know depth about the topic. And so that's going to be my focus for the next cycle. So one thing that was really difficult to decide on was choosing Calgary or Toronto as my next step forward. The reason why that's been so difficult is because Toronto is BMC. Like, if you're going to work in biomedical communications in Canada, you're going to have to work in Toronto for the most part if you want to grow your career the fastest, because that's where all the connections are, that's where the jobs are. That said, you could also work in Chicago, but I don't want to go to the US. And I was ready to kind of move home at that point, like when I got to the UFC interview. But the rejection kind of made me question, like, should I be in Toronto still or go to Calgary? But since there's no, and I mean, the thing is, like, I came home a few weeks ago and it kind of clarified to me, like, yes, this is the next step. This is the move forward, is Calgary. And the reason being because Calgary is where my family is. It's where I feel the most grounded. And remote work is also possible. It's not like it's become very relevant as well, or prevalent in my field. So ultimately, it feels like it's not a retreat, but rather a strategic move. And I think that it's actually the best move both for my career in biomedical communications and my career in medicine, my potential career in medicine. Next up is the plan. How am I going to be approaching the next year? How am I going to be reapplying? So this year I'm going to be applying to 6 schools. I've only ever applied to 2 at most in a cycle, but I'm applying to 6. That's 2 Alberta schools, U of C and U of A, and 4 Ontario schools. So that's going to be McMaster, which is Casper Heavy, Queen's, which is a lottery, and Western, and Toronto Metropolitan University. Western's a bit of a long shot because they prefer rural candidates, and TMU is Canada's newest medical school. The other thing is my top focus is going to be UCalgary, but I can't forget that the Ontario Medical School application, because I've never written it before, I can't get caught flat-footed with that, so I need to make sure that I'm doing my research and writing it correctly. But Calgary remains my top focus. This time around, I'm going to be focused on writing a holistic application. I think that having the time constraints of last cycle prevented me from producing something that was super cohesive, and so that's going to be the focus this time. It's going to be cohesive and holistic and a reflective application overall. I've registered for my Casper on October 16th, and the reason for that is because then I don't have to worry about preparing for the Casper until after my written applications are done on October 1st. I've also written the Casper exam before, and it wasn't that big of a problem for me. I got top quartile each time, so I think that shouldn't be too hard, but Casper would be for Queen's and McMaster. The other thing is, because I decided on moving back to Alberta, I'm going to be able to get in-province status for University of Alberta Medical School. And so that's going to really help improve my chances, because I realized that I would rather go to medical school in Alberta or Calgary than go back to Ontario. But I'd still be willing to go to Ontario. It's just, I think that I would have a preference to stay in Alberta. Now, there's other projects that I'm doing too, just kind of stay grounded. I'm going to be doing a project for one of my references, for a volunteer project. It's going to be a volunteer infographic, as well, like training cards for volunteers at one of the hospitals in Calgary. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also potentially going to be pursuing to publish a scientific paper this year. And so these will not just, they're not really filler, and it's not, I mean, ultimately it's going to help pursuing medicine. It's also going to help my career in biomedical communications. But these are building on past impact, and they're based on like just me showing up. And so I'm excited for those. Now for the next part is going to be about how I'm going to sustain all this, because this is going to be really busy. Last time I burned out. Like I was working 2 jobs. I was worried about paying rent in one of the most expensive cities in Canada. And so I was also working overtime at my job. And so then when I wrote the application and I was staying up till like 2 a.m. writing it each day, eventually my body hit a limit and I crashed. And so this year is going to be, the focus is going to be on sustainability and structure. I'm going to have like 4 writing sessions per week for my medical school applications. I'm going to have 1 full rest day on Saturdays. That was something I realized during the MCAT, that having a rest day is kind of essential so that you don't burn out. I'm also going to be doing some race training, as I love running and I find that it's the best stress reliever out there for me. And so I registered for 2 races in September and November. I'm also going to be focused on alternating creative and logistical work to help me kind of stay grounded. It's not about like doing more. It's not about maximizing productivity. It's about building something sustainable. It's about doing it sustainably. Now, I won't lie, there's still a chance that I don't get in. Of course, it's medicine in Canada. It's really hard to get in. And so that said, everything that I'm doing still matters. Like publishing a scientific paper, that matters a lot. Also, doing that volunteer infographic that's going to help volunteers get trained. Like everything matters still, and it's still also going to be working towards my career in BMC. And I think as well, whether I get in or not, I'm still going to grow, I'm still going to create, and I'm still going to contribute either way. And so I'm still really excited for the next year. And the thing too, the backup plan that I came up with, it's real and it's exciting. Lately, I've been even feeling more excited about it than medical school. And so I'm not sharing the details yet. I'm keeping it a secret. So stay tuned and follow the channel because the channel is going to be part of it. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share if you want it to keep going, and I'll reveal eventually. Oh, okay. Anyways, my problem with these videos is I always go on for too long, but now this is the outro. So if you've watched the whole thing, thank you so much, because YouTube's algorithm likes it if you watch till the end. So I really appreciate it if you're still watching at this point. I've signed a lease in Calgary, so I'm officially here to stay. And as I said earlier, it feels like the right move towards both my career in BMC and medicine. And of course, I'm going to be sharing the journey. My next video, I think, will be like an ADHD one, because most of my subscribers are built on ADHD content. So I think I need to feed those subscribers. So stay tuned for that. But I'm also going to be doing a video on medical school application writing, also BMC again, as well as AI, I think, because I need to kind of follow these themes of these videos that I've been building. If you're figuring things out too, I hope that this video kind of helps you feel less alone. Thank you for being here, and thank you so much for watching, and do like, subscribe, share, all that yada yada as I continue to build this channel and build this meaningful life that I'm hoping to build. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.